All right. Okay, so, hello everyone, welcome to the 2023 Workshop Leader Training. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure you do, my name is Brianne Delegati and I am the director here at OLLI, although my friends call me Zorro because I am always in a mask. So, I'd like to start today off a little different than we have in the past. If everybody could just, we're gonna go around the room and just say your name because we're all back in person. We've seen each other from the shoulders up, maybe not all the way in person. Just start off with your name and the workshop that you lead, so we can all get to know each other a little better. We're gonna start with the folks here in the room and then we'll move to the folks on Zoom. So we'll go first row. Karen, Jane, why don't you go through us off?
Hi, everybody. Karen Apollo. I know almost everybody. I hope to be able to talk to everybody in the near future. I'm co-chair in curriculum leadership.
Okay, I'm Jane Cash, co-chair with Karen of the curriculum committee, and I'm teaching the 16-19 class with Carmelo Gus. Oh wait.
And I'm leading, I'm co-leading the history and fiction workshop with some colleagues who meet in a couple of minutes.
Good morning, all. I'm Jay Zuckerman. I'm an adjunct.
Adjunct what? Maybe you elevated yourself there.
I teach with moving much.
Hi, before I'm sorry for you update. So in this room, because we're hybrid, if there's any side chatter, the folks at home are not gonna be able to hear who's talking. So if everybody who is talking, you can turn your voices up a little bit and just one at a time so the folks can hear at home. Go ahead, Jen.
My name is Jay Zuckerman, and I'm a at-large member of the Executive Council. And Bob Merman and I teach the Twilight Zone, and hopefully we aren't there today.
My name is Peter Akris, and I lead the workshop in Food Science and the Human Body, Part 2. But if you missed Part 1, it's okay, you can start on Part 2. We'll repeat it again.
I'm Gene Sprouse, with Peter Bond. I teach the science behind the headlines, global warming and other science issues. And about the, I think, 15th time that we've taught this workshop.
Bonnie Marks and
Alan Sachs.
we do the New York Times seminar from Tuesday's New York Times. We discuss the articles.
I'm Judy Albano. I'm teaching history of literature with Karen, Joe, and Laura this year.
I'm Bob Merman with Jay. I teach the Twilight Zone. I'm the new chairman of the Member Relations Committee, not by choice.
Next time, go to the meeting.
I have friends in my place. And since I am the new chairman of the Member Relations Committee, the people in here are obviously volunteers, and we need some to help the first week of school in terms of sitting at our help desk out here, the tables, to welcome especially new members. So see me on the way out, please.
Good morning, I'm Mary Hans. I am leading 2 workshops this semester. I am leading by myself, stretch and lift, an exercise class. And with 2 other colleagues, I am going to facilitate Women You Should Know.
Hi, I'm Ellen Nice, and I'm working with Mary on Women You Should Know. Hope to see a lot of
Including the
you,
two.
including the 2 of us, yes.
Those were infamous women.
There will be infamous women in the workshop, teaching and we'll be talking about.
I'm Bunny Averill, and I am teaching with Linda Good, the beginning bridge class.
James Burke. I'm teaching Understanding the News in Our Polarizing Times, and I'm really glad to be here. This is my first time.
Dan Sherry, first timer, hopefully teaching Let's Play Chess.
All right.
Lou Sabatini, second timer, I'm doing a workshop. Am I my father's son?
I'm Paul Nell. I'm finishing a workshop called Interregnum, and then we're going to start World War II.
Literally.
Hi, I'm Tony Pauls, we're with Mark Prendergast, we're doing the Rights Camera in Action, which is films about the law. And you also did the Supreme's Greatest Hits court, not the book, and hopefully we'll do that again.
Hi, I'm Joe Napolitano. I'm a co-leader for History Through Literature.
Laura Filipino on the fourth of the four, the history through literature.
I'm Rabbi David Altman. I'm doing two Jewish philosophers with my great friend, Richard Hart. And just a comment, I've been in OLLI about 20 years, and this is the best OLLI. I've been to some others on vacation. I have to give kudos to everybody here who's been with me or new ones. This is the best one around. And I thank everyone for which I've learned so much over the years.
It's amazing what a $5 bribe will do.
Richard Hart, in addition to the two Jewish thinkers, offered with Rabbi Altman, I'll be offering a workshop of my own, philosophy and social hope, and it's based on the writings of American philosopher Richard Rorty.
Okay, I'm Frank DeRubies. I teach a course entitled Photography Before Photoshop. It's basically a learning of the camera rather than the software to take pictures.
Morning, I'm Mike Mayon and I lead the Magic for Grandparents workshop.
All right, now I'm gonna turn it over to our folks here at Zoom. So top left corner, we'll go Dorothy. You're on mute, Dorothy, if you want to unmute.
Okay, I'm Dorothy Schiff Shannon and I lead the memoir writing workshop.
Thanks, Dorothy, and Harold.
Yeah, hello, this is Harold Kirk. I'm leading this semester Inside the Atom, Part 1.
Thanks, Harold. Diane, you're on mute.
Hi, I'm Diane Fisher, and with Karen Jaffe, we're leading the workshop on Mahjong.
Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred Friedberg. I'm leading the workshop on a survey of enjoyable music, which is partly classical, partly more modern forms. I'm hoping I'll have something for everyone in the class.
Thanks, Fred. Nick.
Hey, good morning. My name is Nick, and I am going to be leading a workshop on The Sky Was Yellow and the Sun Was Blue, a history of the Grateful Dead.
Bill. Bill, you're muted.
Okay, I got the key. Okay, you hear me now? Yeah. I'm Bill Russell. I'm co-leader of the your opinion of their opinion, which is a newspaper discussion group using the opinions that are in the various publications around the nation, not just the local newspapers.
Bill, Rabbi Carl.
Hi, Rabbi Stephen Carroll, and I'm leading Heroic Women in the Hebrew Bible, Miriam, Esther, and Ruth.
Peter, you there?
You say Peter?
Yeah,
I'm Peter Bond. I co-lead the workshop on the science behind the headlines with Gene Sprouse.
Thanks, Peter. David?
Oh, hi, I'm David Boucher. I'm again doing a program on classical music for the, well, not the first time, let's say.
Thanks, David. Larry?
Hi, Larry Wilson. I lead a workshop called Mysteries of the Human Mind.
Thanks, Larry. Anita, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi, I'm Anita Edwards, and I lead a great novels workshop. And this term we will focus on the Gothic novel.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all of us. There's some more here who haven't been able to join us, but we thank each and every one of you for the time that you dedicate each semester, before the semester and after the semester, to continue to lead the college. So today we're going to be going over a couple of things. You guys have the newly revised Workshop Leader Handbook. There's been some wonderful additions to this, thanks to our curriculum committee, and you'll hear a little bit more about that from Karen and Jane later on. We're going to start by going over some of the more basic things that occur every day. If you have any questions, please hold them to the end. We will be present at the end, but I just want to get through some of the content right now. So first things first, rosters. You should have all gotten an email with a copy of your roster. The roster is the list of all the participants in your workshop. And you have registered participants, and you may or may not have waitlisted participants. So on your roster, you have their email, should have their first and last name. If you need additional information, such as phone numbers, you can find that in the member directory, which will be distributed the first week of workshops. That link that you click on in the email is a live link. So for example, if Mary decided to drop a workshop and she was once on the roster, once she drops it in the system, the workshop leader can click on that link and that link will be updated. So if you guys clicked on the link a week ago, you may notice that if you click on it today, there might be someone who is on there or not on there because they've added or dropped in the last few days. So it is a live link. So my recommendation is never to print your roster until the workshop actually starts, because changes are being made daily through the next couple of weeks. So be sure to check that out and click on the live link. Schedules. So there's been a couple of changes to schedules. Once the schedule comes out, folks say to me, oh, I need to move, I need to be in a different space, I have to watch my grandchild, things like that. And so things move. And so we'll be sending out the final schedule, which for the most part at this point in time is final, but you'll be getting that next Friday, and it will also include all of the Zoom links. Now remember, if you're joining a Zoom, it's different than if you're hosting a Zoom. So if you're hosting a Zoom at home or if you're having a hybrid workshop, you have to start the meeting. If you're a participant and you're taking part in a Zoom workshop, you're going to join the meeting by clicking the link that's provided in the schedule. So if you have questions on Zoom, we're not going over as much tech stuff as in this meeting today, but I'm happy to set up one-on-one appointments with you guys. But just keep in mind that joining a Zoom meeting is very different than starting a Zoom meeting, and workshop leaders must start their own meetings. Cancellations and the office procedures. So let's just say your car breaks down and you can't make it to campus and you have to cancel your workshop. You can always call the front desk. If you have access to email, you can send an email to spdolli@stonybrook.edu. We recommend saving that email address in your phone for easy access.
Read that again.
SPD, like School of Professional Development. The word OLLI, OLLI, @stonybrook.edu.
Is that only all caps?
It doesn't matter, either way. You can do it all capitals or all lowercase.
Can you do it one more time?
Yep, SPD, OLLI, @stonybrook.edu. And I'll type it here for the folks at home. Okay, so what happens when you cancel a workshop? How does everybody find out? Well, there's two schools of thinking. One is the fact that we get multiple cancellations a day, and we can't send out an email, nor do we expect everyone to be checking their emails every few minutes. So what we do is we have a cancellation document. That cancellation document is a live document and it lives on our Stony Brook website. And so what we do is we update this cancellation document, and I'll share my screen here so everyone at home can see. This is what the cancellation document looks like. You can find it on our homepage, and essentially what we do is we list that the workshop is canceled, the title, the location, the date and time, the workshop leader, and a link to their email if somebody wants to get in touch with them. Now, as workshop leaders, what I recommend, in addition to having everything listed on the cancellation doc, which we encourage the members to look at every day before they come to campus, so they're not disappointed because they drove here and found out that their workshop was canceled, was that if you can, send a quick email to your roster. what I've done with some of the folks here is have a draft email ready to go in your inbox with all of the participants in your workshop, with all their emails already loaded. This way, if you have to send it from your phone because you're on the go, or if it's something where you're not gonna have access to your computer at home, and just say class is canceled today. Any questions, you can reach out to me or the OLLI office. If you need help setting something like that up, I'm happy to do so. Again, I'm scheduling one-on-one appointments, and we can always give you tips and tricks on how to do that. But I always recommend that the workshop leaders reach out to their rosters. The more personable you can be with them, the better. This way, they're not just referring to the cancellation document, but the cancellation document will have all of the cancellations, postponements, room changes, any changes you have. Okay. In the realm of communication to the members, most of you, if not all of you, are communicating at some point throughout the semester with your members, whether you're sending emails, letting them know that there's a book they need to read, or a movie they need to watch, or just some fun facts for the class in preparation of the next day. You're sending emails to your members. And what we ask is that you kindly CC the office in the event that there's something that you need your members to know, because what will happen is that if a member doesn't have the workshop leader's email address on hand, by default, they contact the office. And if we're not aware of what you guys are asking them to do, makes it harder for us to either quickly communicate it to them, or we alternatively provide them your email address to get in touch with you. And we could avoid that step if we had the information in the process. So if you ever send out an email, just CC us on it. We're not going to respond. It doesn't bother us. We love getting emails. So just throw us on the CC line or even the BCC line, and we'll just have that information in our back pocket in the event that we need it. So we talked a little bit about waitlists and communications. So if you are a workshop leader that was oversubscribed, your workshop was oversubscribed and you have a wait list, it is completely at your discretion how you would like to handle the wait list. You are not obligated to do anything beyond what you're doing already, which is leading your workshop every week for the people who got into your workshop. Now, that being said, everybody here wants to accommodate as many people as possible. So what happens is they notice that folks haven't been coming in each week, or they have some open seats. So what we tell people to do as a, if you want to, an FYI, if you will, send an email each week ahead of your workshop and say, I know we have this person who's not going to be coming in. I know we've been having on average 2 to 3 empty seats. So if you can, let me know and have them contact you about coming. If they come, they can sign in at the bottom of the attendance list. They don't have to be registered. The biggest thing here for us when it comes to wait lists is that we don't exceed the maximum occupancy rate for any of the classrooms. For those of you who know, there have been several events over the past couple of months where the fire marshal from Stony Brook has showed up to our events and said, how many people are in this room? And not always been the best option. So we want to make sure that we're not exceeding the workshop leader occupancy.
Yeah, it looks like there's sound issues.
Yeah, it's from before. Seems like we solved it. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab it. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna go grab a bit of water.
Taking over, Jay?
All right, sure. Now next up.
Jay.
Oh, raise your hand if you want some water. I'm serving.
I just went and grabbed the cup. Thank you.
He was bringing you a bottle.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, the mask gets a little dry in here. Where were we? Waitlist policies. So sorry if any of that was confusing. I was slightly choking. So basically, what you want to make sure, thank you, Beth. What you want to make sure you do is that if you have spaces and you're open to the option of opening it up to your wait list, that you're just in constant communication with the members. So anything you can do in that realm would be, but don't feel pressure to do so. Attendance sheets. This is pretty basic. Most of you have been in the workshops yourselves. Sign into the attendance sheets. We have to send them back to OSHA at the end of each semester. They want to know who is in the workshops, and we have to report it to Stony Brook for health and safety purposes. They need to know how many people are on the campus at any given time, so attendance sheets are important. You'll get them at the beginning of the semester from the front desk. You can come into the office. You'll get a stack or you'll get one sheet. It depends which format you prefer them in. Folks can either check it off or initial it each week or just sign in and you'll have multiple copies. And then you turn them in each week to the main office. You can't get there each week. We'll take a few at a time as long as we get them all by the end of the semester.
Can they be scanned and emailed to you?
They can. So if you prefer to not come to the main office, you can text them to my work phone. We have the folks who lead Bridge off campus. They've been great about texting me and just sending me a picture of it to my work phone. We upload it. If you guys want to do the same thing, you can text it or you can email it, whatever you prefer. Subscription services. So we make our best effort to save money where we can. And instead of purchasing great course DVDs, which we've done for years, which are pretty costly, they could be upwards of $100 per set for the great courses. We now pay $39.99 a year to use great courses and have access to unlimited free course programs. In addition, we also have Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Stars, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Masterclass, Net Opera, and HBO Max, a few others. If there's any streaming service that you need, let me know. We're happy to get it for you, with the exception of 2 services. We cannot get Amazon Prime, and we cannot get YouTube Premium. You can use YouTube as much as you want. You do just have to suffer through the 5 seconds of commercials. Those are all individual accounts. We don't have a way to distribute that in a mass way. Same thing with Amazon. It's all tied to individual accounts. What I am happy to announce is that as of 3 days ago, I now have a digital subscription to Newsday. So any of you folks who are doing news-related politics, we can get you the digital subscription to Newsday. We have a username and a password, and you can view every issue, every story, because a lot of the Newsday stuff is behind the paywall.
Wondering, I'm sorry, I'll forget if I don't ask you now. What about members, registrants in the class, for instance, and Maddie and sorry. Can they access it or just?
For the Newsday, yes. For the streaming services, no. So the caveat with the streaming services is that no more than, well, this is all changing. If you guys have been dealing with some of the Netflix issues in your household.
Yeah.
So there's certain things about Netflix that has gotten funky. We haven't, knock on wood, run into major issues yet because we pay for a premium account where up to 5 people can be logged in at a time, which is why we typically try to schedule no more than 5 workshops that would use those services at any one time. But for the most part, we give the passwords and the usernames out. You can log it onto your TV at home. I'm not going to tell anybody if you're watching a Hulu at home versus you're watching it on your iPad. As long as you're using it and you need it, we're going to keep the subscriptions active. We do currently have about 20 to 25 workshop leaders who are taking advantage of services right now. So don't be shy. Send me an email. Let me know what you'd like. And we'd be happy to get you set up on that. Yeah.
You have a subscription to an ad for YouTube. Can we sign into our own subscription?
Yes, if you have your own ad for YouTube, that's totally fine. Same thing with Amazon Prime. The one thing I'll say is if you're leading a workshop on Zoom, some of these things don't stream well because there are copyright blocks. When you're doing an in-person workshop, it's as if you're logging into your TV and one person is watching it. When you're doing it over Zoom, sometimes the companies will get cute and they'll play the sound, but they'll black out the screen. We've had some issues there. So it's always on an as-needed basis. I can tell you that one workshop leader does Zoom and Netflix and has no problem. Another one, something about the internet at their house, it won't let Netflix play. So we kind of deal with that on a one-off basis. Jane?
Brian, can you do closed captioning now?
Absolutely. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so subscription services. Yep.
I'm sorry, about the passwords and everything, we have to call every time we're gonna log on to it.
Nope, so you get it once, you could save it to your device. Passwords do change at the end of every semester, so we give you the passwords, you have it for the duration of the semester, you can use it as long as you.
So suppose like people that are newbies, like we are, and we don't know which streaming service, so we wanna have access to all of them.
I'll give you access to every single one.
Yeah, okay.
You just gotta keep the password.
Okay.
And they're all the same, for all the streaming services. I can't keep track of 37 different passwords in my own life, let alone the ones for here, so they're all the same, but I'll give you guys all the subscription information. Just send me an email because we do keep track so that we know we can do a pay breakdown about how much we're spending versus how much we're using. Last thing is room requests. I just wanted to address this because it's been coming up as a more frequent topic. So when you guys fill out the workshop leader applications, we do ask you if you have a preference on which room you would like to be in. And so with that, I want everybody here to be aware of what the room rental process is, because I'm not sure everybody is, and if you are, I apologize. But the rooms here in SBS, we do not pay for. The School of Professional Development has donated this space to us in kind, the OLLI program. We do not have to pay for this space. So anything in this building, we don't have to pay to use. If you're in the Wong Center, the Student Activities or the SAC Center, the Student Union, the Bauman Center, any of these places that we are off of this building, there is a fee associated with it, and some larger than others. So I just want everybody to be mindful of, sometimes when you request to be in the Wong Center, we use those spaces when they're larger. And I'm gonna give a great example. Jay and Bob, I'm gonna use your workshop because it's been great. You guys have been super great with us about this. Jay and Bob were in the Wong Center, and that room cost us upwards of $500 or $600 per week. So on average, that room holds about 78. And what we noticed was that we could put them in a SAC classroom, which cost us about $100 a week. So we were saving a tremendous amount of money, and they were willing to relocate. So if there's ever a point in time where you feel that you might prefer the Wong building and you don't get put there, it's not because we don't want to put you there, it's because there may be other spaces that are equivalent to it that can help us save some money in the long run. If you ever want to see a space or go visit before you get assigned or after you get assigned, we're happy to take you on a tour. There are also AV restrictions. Some of you are holding hybrid, some of you are giving presentations, and some of those rooms have not all been brought up to speed the way that ours were. So different needs, just we're hoping for more flexibility, more openness, and just being willing to save some funds where we can so that we can keep the program going as long as possible. So with that, I'm going to take any questions you have, and then I'm going to turn it over to Liz, who's going to talk a little bit more about the tech support within the classrooms, and we'll go from there. So any questions about what we've covered here today? First,
Just an observation, we need to give the staff the flexibility to match attendance to the room size. So we as individuals and as lecturers need to provide them with that kind of ability.
Thank you, Jack.
So there's a new password for the fall semester. Do we have to request that, or will you be sending it to the study committee?
Anyone who wants to use the services should just send me a quick email and I will provide it to them. So if you want to use the streaming services, it's a request and you'll just send it over to me.
How does the parking work here? I know I parked in the garage. Are the things validated so that you don't have to pay?
Parking for today's event or parking in general?
For today's event and for when we're teaching.
Okay, so today's event, I have these wonderful parking passes that you'll all get. If you don't have an active parking pass today, I'm happy to validate you. Moving forward for the semester, there are several different types of parking options. You have parking for folks with disabilities in any of the handicap spaces, with the exception of the garage. The garage, you do have to pay to use, whether you're using the disability spaces or the regular spaces. The garage, we negotiated a discounted rate of $22.72 per month. And the parking hang tags are $50 per semester and $100 per year. And they permit you to park in any of the designated OLLI lots on our parking map. So we can provide you the parking map. So those are a few different options. You can also pay, if you're only coming to campus 1 day a week for an hour, you can pay the meter. It's $4 an hour or $2.50 an hour, sorry. To pay per hour in the meter. So there's a couple of different options. It depends how frequent you are. We recommend the best parking. We're very lucky. We're right across from the garage. So if you want to pay the $22 a month, you have unlimited Monday through Friday, 24 hours a day parking access to the garage, and it's about 100 feet from the building. So any other questions? All right, you guys are making this way too easy for me.
Questions on Zoom?
Let me see, anybody on Zoom have any questions? Rabbi Carol?
One of the sessions I'm going to be out of town.
Yep.
So do I just go to Zoom and set it up? How do I do that?
To cancel your workshop if you're not going to be there, or you want to hold it hybridly?
I want to do the workshop from where I'm going to be, out of town.
Now, your workshop is typically in person or on Zoom?
It's a hybrid.
Okay, so you would cancel the in-person session that day and you would just hold it on Zoom with the same link that you always use for Zoom.
Okay, so the people that come in person can get on Zoom to watch it, right?
Yep, the entire membership gets a schedule the Friday before the semester starts, and it includes all of the Zoom links after someone's registered.
Okay, thank you. My other question is, I have all my teaching material on Google Slides on my laptop. So do I bring my laptop to the classroom, have it connected? What are the logistics of that?
Beauty of Google Drive, Google Slides, you can access it from anywhere in the world. So you do not have to bring your device. You'll log in with your net ID and password to the Stony Brook computer, and you'll log into your Google account and access your slides through there. Everybody has a net ID and password. If you're on Zoom, it's what you're using to log into Zoom. So you use the same login to get onto Zoom that you do to get onto the computer. All right. If you need a tech one-on-one refresher, we could set that up. Anybody else at home on Zoom have any questions? Bruce, I know you joined this.
Brianna, this is Fred Friedberg. I'd like to get a subscription to the Berlin Philharmonic for the class, but it costs money. Is that, can that be charged against my expense account or whatever it is I might have?
Yeah, so workshop leader supplies, every workshop leader is entitled to $150 worth of supplies. If you haven't already, please get in touch with me about what you need. Many of you have already submitted your requests. The items have been purchased and picked up. But if you do need additional supplies, just send me an email and I'm happy to purchase them. And Fred, basically that's a new streaming service, so I would purchase it and I would give you the account login information the same way I would distribute Hulu or Netflix.
You're saying I should purchase it myself?
Oh, absolutely not. We want to make sure that the workshop leaders are not purchasing anything. Stony Brook will not refund you. I make the purchase, so you just tell me what you need and I'll buy it for you and give you access.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, anybody else? All right, cool. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn it over to Liz, and she's going to go over some of the tech stuff with you. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know me, who might be new, I'm Liz. I think I know almost everybody, but I don't know everybody's name. I've been working on getting rooms across campus, working with the tech people in the buildings outside of SBS. So I just wanted to go over some of the tech stuff that has come up in some of the workshops over the past semester, just so that everybody is understanding what they're supposed to do if there's an issue. And I know this doesn't apply to the people that are doing it on Zoom or that are in the SBS building necessarily, but we're using the Wong Center, we're using the Student Activity Center, and we're using the Student Union. So in those buildings, they have tech assistants that come and help set up the rooms if there's a problem. In some of the buildings, they don't stay the whole time, but they're there prior to the workshop starting. So if any of you are in any of those buildings that want to go see the building first, check out the equipment, please email me right away so that I can set it up. So we can arrange for the tech person to be there and show us the room and the equipment. Jay and Bob, I think we're going over to one of the rooms, you're in SAC, and you haven't been there yet, so I've made an arrangement to take Bob and Jay over. We're gonna make sure that they know how to use the equipment, sign in and all of that kind of stuff. So if you are in the Student Activity Center, the SAC or the union, this is in the handbook, so it's on toward the end of the handbook. But basically, it's telling you if you're in the SAC, if you look on the left column, if you're in the SAC, these are the numbers to call in priority order, call the main desk. And the reason I say the main desk instead of a person is because that main desk will then notify whoever's on staff at the time. So if the room is locked, if the lights don't go on, if something's wrong, that's the number you call first, the main desk number. If you're in the SAC, and the same with the union, they work together. So they will send a call out to whoever's on staff, and you should get help right away. If you can't reach them, please call the AV and the tech assistant for both. And if you can't reach anybody, the facilities is the building person. So they can find whoever's on staff at the time, yeah.
Two separate buildings, obviously, we don't know where they are at any one time,
Who is?
those people.
Right, that's why I said, what they've told me is to call the main desk number. They have that, they have a person sitting at this main desk
Where's
that will
main desk?
troubleshoot. I think it's in the SAC, but it doesn't matter because they work with both buildings. And they'll say the building manager can open the room, or let me send over a tech person to help you with the, with the equipment. So that's for the SAC building. If you're having problems with anything other than technical issues, call the OLLI office. So if you're having trouble with Zoom, if you forgot your net ID or you don't know how to log in, anything that's not equipment related, please call the OLLI office. We'll either come over or we'll walk you through it, send a student over, because that's not really what the AV folks are there for. And it goes the same for the Wong Center. We have a list of who to call. These are the staff people in the building. So if there's a spill in the room, if the lights don't go on, if there's no computer there, please call those numbers and they will send somebody over. If the room is locked, same thing. If there's non-technical issues, call the OLLI office and we'll either run over or we'll help you on the phone. In the SBS building, most of you have been here, usually don't have a problem, but if the room is locked, if there's any issues at all in this building, please call us or run down the hall. All right, any questions about the buildings and the technical issues? I think we're slowly resolving a lot of the issues, but again, we're more than happy to go over, make sure everything's working properly for you. Tony and Mark, we probably want to do that also, so we can check out, we can talk later, but for your showing of your films, it might be a good idea to go over there. We're trying to minimize the phone calls the first day of workshops. So that's it for the actual tech issues. I'm gonna stop sharing Facebook. The other thing, I want to mention that when you are filling out your workshop leader application, you've already done it, but in the future, please, 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 I beg you, put down all of your audio visual needs. Please don't just put down that you want a microphone. I need to know if you want a handheld microphone or do you want a lavalier? Do you want it on the podium? Do you need a laptop? Do you want to bring your laptop? In some buildings, very minimal, they do have Macs in the Wong Center. There's not a lot, but if you're more apt to use a Mac and you want a Mac, let me know that. If you don't need a laptop, please don't put it down. We assume, well, all the buildings have projectors and screens, but if there's anything else you need, please put it in there because it minimizes what I have to do. When I request the room, I have to put all of that in there.
Is it possible to have a lavalier microphone in this room?
No. No, that's what I need to know ahead of time so we can contact you. No, unfortunately.
I mean, people complain about the sound.
It's just not an option in this room. And in some of the other buildings on campus, there's no option for a lavalier. It depends on the room. That's why I'm asking ahead of time. And if there's a way to work around it, we'll try. But we have asked in this room, and it's not possible,
Is
unfortunately.
that's because of the feedback from the microphones? Is
I don't know the exact reason, but we've talked to the company that installed all this equipment, and it's just not an option.
It's unfortunate because in this room,
I know.
and I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Liz, did you say you can't have a hands-on mic in this room too?
I don't think so, no, but we can check now. Okay. These rooms were built the way they are, the rooms that we have in SBS. We've tried to change things and make things, this is pretty much the best it's gonna get. There's a tech guy that I've been working with across campus. He's gonna come and see our rooms. I just asked him to come see our rooms to kind of compare what we have and what they have. And I really would like him to come over because I want him to see what's going on and see if he had, because he's a tech guy. Not that the company that we use, but you never know, it might be a setting or something. So we're gonna have him come over and just on the slide, take a look at everything and see if there's any way we can change things, but really what we have is what we get.
Yeah, that would be great if
I know.
you just experiments maybe
Yeah.
and see. Yeah.
I've been experimenting with him, excuse me, in a lot of the buildings. Because all of the buildings across campus are not hybrid. And when we do certain meetings, we want to make sure that we can do it somewhat hybrid for folks at home so that they can still hear in some of these rooms. So he's working out some Zoom capable options in some of the rooms that are not hybrid yet. So I've been working closely with him, and just so you know, there is a new room a new space that we're going to be using soon, which will be available, and you'll all hear about it. It's called the Bauman Center, and it's a very nice space. It holds a lot of people, can hold over 200 people, and so we just got access to it, so.
Where is that? Where is that?
It's on campus, it's 2 buildings down from the Wong Center. So it's now available, for us to
2
use.
buildings behind the ones.
Yeah.
It's 2 buildings further than the Wong Center, but we'll be telling you all about it. We just got access to it.
Cesar Chavez, I think that's where it is, right? It's right just past the dorm or the building that says Cesar Chavez and somebody else, yeah. It's, as you're going north, it's on the left-hand side, same side of the street as Wong Center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not far. I have to find out the perfect way for everybody to get there. I mean, I know how to get there, but. So that's a nice space we're gonna be able to use for meetings, for events, for workshops. And it's a very nice room. It has a stage, it has a nice theater. I'm looking at Tony.
I'm looking at Tony too.
I really think it would be a good space for your class. But anyway, I don't want to get into the whole thing, but you and I need to talk about that. We're hoping to have one of our meetings there, so everybody will get to see it, but we're working slowly on getting additional spaces. There is another space, but it's not conducive to the OLLI members because there's no parking. It's far across campus. It's available to us, but it's way on the other side. There's no parking nearby, and it's really not conducive to the program, but we're working with them. So hopefully we get more and more space and it will help the program. Any questions at home? No? Any other questions about space? Yeah.
Oh, no, not about space.
Oh, did you have another question?
Yeah, just a request, without pointing fingers at anybody. Last year, when I came into this room and there was no class immediately before, there were a number of times where that screen wouldn't light up because somehow it had been changed to only the screen, and it was a pain to try and get it. If you do that, could you put it back to the way it was?
We didn't do
before
it.
you leave?
We never.
I don't mean you.
Yes, but workshop leaders.
I don't know. There was no class.
We don't know who did it. I mean, and it's not the only time. Certain settings on the hybrid rooms, if they're changed, then we're troubleshooting what got changed. So be careful if you're gonna change anything on this panel here. So that we're aware of it. If you're not sure, please let the office know and we'll come and help you. We have no problem helping you. And it's just part of the course, things happen, you know. The other problem with some of the rooms with the equipment, and as you know, with computers and laptops and iPads, if one little setting changes, it just changes everything. So, and some of the settings like revert back to when it was originally set up, and there's nothing we can do about that. So we're doing the best we can, just help us, help you by letting us know, okay? So with that, no other questions? Nobody on Zoom? Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Karen. She's gonna give a little snippet on some changes to the workshop leader handbook. Do you want me to pull it up for you?
No, it's in here. It's fine.
Yeah, but the people at home don't have.
Oh, you're right.
I'm gonna screen share the workshop leader handbook, and we're gonna go to.
Yeah. Waiting for the water slide that landed on
That's right. I won't keep you long. Unfortunately, Jane was called away, but she and I were both going to talk to you about a couple of things. First of all, we are thrilled with the variety of workshops that we have this semester. I know in the past, I've been in OLLI this is gonna be my beginning of my 7th year. I can't believe how fast the time has gone. And we had upwards of 100 courses back then. Now we have 70. We are growing each semester, but what impresses me most is the variety, the academic, for people who love games, and mahjong and casual cards and games like the McMullen stage. There's something for everybody. Tony and Mark's wonderful film course. We have just such a variety. Bonnie and Alan, I remember taking your Science Times course when I first joined and enjoying it very much. You know, we're all teachers. I particularly want to thank the first-time leaders. You know, I say even after a career in teaching both young children in the elementary school and adults in a graduate education program. You don't have to have been a teacher to lead a workshop, absolutely not. We're all teachers. We teach our younger siblings growing up. We teach our children. We teach at work, even if we don't hold the title of teacher. So part of our job as committee chairs of the curriculum committee, which I love working on, is to encourage people, you know, like yourselves, to lead a workshop, explore the things that they enjoy doing and thinking about how they can share it. Our job as the curriculum committee, and we have some wonderful people on our committee who are always volunteering to help. If you need any support, if you find a problem with whatever it is, except technology, if it's basic technology. But, and they are wonderful, by the way. Liz and the students are terrific. I retired the year that we got a smart board, and I had to be observed using that smart board and using the technology. And I did it, but I said never again after I retired. And here I was leading a hybrid course with pals in this room and learning to use all of the technology. And really, I credit the students and Liz, because
And you did a great job.
Well, yes, thank you. Because we had one, I had one colleague who was currently teaching in Teachers College, and she uses the technology all the time. I want you to keep in mind September 27th. We are going to have a workshop leader meetup. It is on a Wednesday when we have common hour. So that means it is not going to conflict, thank you. Words are leaving me. Conflict with anybody's workshop. It'll be, I can't tell you for sure where it's going to be yet. We have a committee that will be filling in all of the details. But I would like this, we would like this to be a very comfortable situation where we have new workshop leaders and experienced workshop leaders. I'm going to ask a few people to be on a panel so that you can tell us about your experiences and we can have a give and take questions about things that come up in workshops. There are as many formats for leading a workshop as there are different personalities. Years ago, when I started teaching, we had those traditional lesson plans with the rigid structure and the learning objectives and the anticipatory set. But basically, what you need to have is an idea and objective, the materials, the organized way that you want to present it. And this is something that really is not difficult if you love your subject, but certainly there are plenty of people, if you find you need help, we can match you up with a mentor. We can help in a number of ways. I want to mention that the Workshop Leader Handbook, sorry if you have it, but it's up here on the screen. We added a new section this year. A group of us on the committee got together and we created this section that is really a practical guide to leading workshops. We had a principal on our committee, a couple of teachers, as well as workshop leaders. And let's see. Okay, so all right. So at your leisure, please go through this. It has there are some particular helpful hints about communicating with your registrants. It really is a good idea to send an introductory letter to the people in your workshop. Give them a taste of what to expect. If anyone has any trouble with cutting and pasting your address list, your registrants, please get in touch with the office. It's not difficult. Brianne mentioned the handling of wait lists, and again, that is at your discretion. But in our workshop that I'm doing with colleagues this semester, we're asking people beforehand, let us know if you're going to be missing a workshop so that we can take a few people from the wait list and have them attend that session. You don't have to do that if you're by yourself and it seems like a lot of work, I understand. But if you have it in your wheelhouse to be able to do that, it would certainly be appreciated by your waitlist members. Now, this section of the handbook, it comes first. We never had this kind of section before. See that it has some suggestions on communication. Scroll down, discussion techniques, different ways to handle the a member who dominates the discussion, ways to discourage all the side conversations. For some of you, this is common sense. For others of us, it's helpful to have some guidance. The different types of questions that you can ask, just a suggestion, different ways of organizing your workshops. So other things you can think about. Okay, so I recommend that you just take a look at this section. Use it as you see fit. Just see. There is one thing that Jane asked me to mention, and that is, this is yours. Yeah. We all sign, let's see if you remember this, when we join OLLI, we all sign a statement that says that we will see, I've got it right here. A code of conduct, and you may not even remember having signed it. The language is legal language. It was written by attorneys, and basically it lists all the kinds of behaviors that are you should not engage in terms of the way you talk with your the members of the class, that you will let's see, the transgressions. You will not commit these transgressions, denigrating other views or opinions, threatening behaviors, and it lists all the negative things that you will not do. Well, Jane Cash, my co-chair, and Al Jordan, who is a retired faculty member from Stony Brook, they came up with their own member and workshop leaders diversity, equity, and inclusion statement. It's not currently in the handbook, but it will be put in. It doesn't replace what we have to sign, but we really wanted to bring it to the forefront. And it simply says this: as a member of the Stony Brook University Committee and an OLLI member, I agree to promote equality, civility, caring, responsibility, accountability, and respect. I recognize the importance of understanding and appreciating our differences and similarities. While OLLI is a place where the free exchange of ideas and concepts allows for debate and disagreement, all workshop behavior and discourse should reflect the values of respect and civility. Both OLLI members and workshop leaders share the responsibility to maintain an appropriate learning environment that reflects these values. Therefore, I will not encroach on the rights of others, either as individuals or as groups. I accept the obligation to listen to and understand the beliefs and opinions of others and to treat others fairly. I am accountable for my own behavior. I accept that I am in part responsible for the welfare of the OLLI community itself. I will stand up for the dignity of every member of this community. I will celebrate and express pride in our community's diversity in all its forms: race, gender, identity, differing ability, religion, sexual orientation, or any of the dimensions that make each person uniquely human. I think that this statement is simple, direct, and we felt a need to put it in this kind of language because we felt what we were all signing really didn't get to the crux of what we wanted. We wanted positively stated. Okay. Any questions or comments? Oh, one other thing. Would you mention Community Service Day on Saturday with technology? Is that?
Oh, yeah, that's. Brianne, what time is it? At 10?
Saturday at 10 a.m.
Community Service Day. New students on campus or do community service, and Ollie's been chosen as one of the recipients of their services. We did it last year. It's this Saturday from 10 to 12:30. 12. 10 to 12, yeah. So we're doing it in the SAC Ballroom B. So if you have a device and you want some tech help on how to do anything on any of your devices, please bring them. It was very helpful last year, and they're more than capable and they're more than willing, and a lot of OLLI members got some good help. Assistance.
And a location is
SAC Ballroom B.
Yeah, it was, I wasn't able to make it last year, but I always have problems with my cell phone. And when Jane said she went and she got everything cleared up, I said, this year, I'm going. So thank you all for being workshop leaders. Yeah.
just unrelated question. I know we spent a lot of time getting approval to do these ancillary groups of individuals, yes. And I'm not sure that's been promoted and what the steps are.
Leanne, could you speak to
that? Hey guys, I'm over here this time. Let me see if I can get the camera. Can you see me down there? Yeah.
Oh yeah, they can.
So yeah, special interest groups have been approved. They're working on coming out. Fran Leboff, who's gonna be the chair of the special interest group committee, and she's gonna be working on getting some documents out as far as how they work. So we're hoping to have that launched in the next couple of weeks. Special interest groups are very similar to committees or club. They're not as formal, so you'll be getting more info about that, but yeah, Jay, there, green light to go.
Thank you.
There's still a couple of things we have to talk about.
Okay, that's all, thank you.
Oh, I want to thank you for adding all these tips in here because it's very helpful for first time readers.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm glad. We hoped it was helpful. Yes. Just remind me of your first.
James,
James.
are we gonna get a copy of the new document you just read? So
Yes, this,
Included in the member handbook, that's gonna be available hopefully by the 31st.
oh, it will be.
Yeah, we'll have it available in the front office. If you're a brand new member, you'll get it at orientation next week. If you're an existing member, you can pop into the office and pick it up.
yeah, and we hope you'll come on the 27th, but we should have them by then, yes?
27th.
Of
September.
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll be ready next week.
Yeah, so we'll have some copies there as well. Yes. James.
Now that Leanne is here, I'd like to read the chat. It says, sound is terrible. A lot of background noise, echoing. We need a lavalier microphone in this room for the speaker. I mean, despite what the sound people tell you, it's all okay. It is not optimal way to give a lecture in this room.
Yeah, so
I asked about that and I told them that it's not capable.
Right, so we've been working with a company called AdWar. They're the university's contracted tech people. In my humble opinion, they're not the best, but we're trying. And so what happens is that this room is set up. Believe it or not, this is one of the more high-tech spaces on the campus. Some of the other campuses, what they have are drop-down microphones, they're pendulums, they hang from the ceiling, and the sound is muffled. If you guys will take note, in here you have the screen over here, the screen over there. So obviously, Gene, if you're right here, you're getting the best sound projection, they probably hear you great at home. When you're the workshop leader, if you're like us and you're kind of panning back and forth from here to here, your sound is traveling between this mic. When you get to this point, it's being picked up at this mic. The other problem is that in this classroom, it's large and it's very easy to have a side conversation over here, a side conversation over here, have the workshop leader speaking over here. If you have a workshop leader who's a little bit more soft-spoken like Karen, not as loud as me or Jay, then you're gonna not hear as well, and it's gonna pick up those side conversations if they're happening directly under the microphones. All that to say, my biggest gripe in this classroom is the cameras. I would love to be able to see all of you more clearly and to be able to see me more clearly, right? The problem is that I don't have a 6-foot ladder to get up and adjust the cameras. To get a camera that self-adjusts was upwards of $100,000 for this room.
So we should ask that in our supplies of 6 foot.
There you go, Mary, yeah.
The problem is not just the ladder, it's going up the ladder to adjust it every time somebody moves a little
Or
bit.
the grad students.
Yeah.
They can move, there's nothing else to do.
So just for those of you who don't know, this room was not a hybrid space, 102 was not a hybrid space, and we made it.
Right.
And so with the donations that have come in over the years on Giving Day, just from general donations in memory of loved ones passed, we were able to take $25,000 and upgrade this room, $25,000 and upgrade that room. On the scale of upgrades for tech, we probably needed somewhere in the vicinity of about 60 to 70,000 per room. So that being said, on the survey, I hope you guys have all participated in it. If you remember last semester, you got a copy of a survey sent to you. Please take the survey because we're going to take that data and share it with the folks here at the university to be able to say that we're hoping to raise more funds in the future to be able to continuously provide upgrades to the classrooms and make things better. Remember, we are one of the only OLLIs throughout all 124 institutions that are offering synchronized hybrid learning. Most folks, what they do is they record the workshop at home or in person and distribute them. So this tech is all new. So we're pioneers in the field. There's going to be some bumps, but the best way to do it is to mediate or have as minimal possible side conversations, stand as close to the mic as you can, talk as loud as you can. And we are working on trying to figure out a solution because the system doesn't allow for the microphones on here or on your hand. I'm gonna go Ella first and then over here.
Brian, is there a way to, on the giving days, is there a way to set up an option that we want to give to improving technical our technical options in our.
So all the gifts go into one giving account.
So you can't take it out and
Well,
target it.
the executive council can discuss along with the finance committee and the university how the money is spent, but it all goes into one giving account. Yes.
No, I was gonna suggest the lapel microphone or handheld. And I don't understand why that can't be used because handheld is used in so many different venues.
Yes.
What is it about this room that would prohibit that?
These microphones don't allow for expansion to be connected to a lapel mic or a hand mic. So what'll happen is that if you're either just hearing the person here on their lapel mic, you won't be able to hear the folks in the classroom. It's not, they won't be able to integrate those additional mics. We can put more speakers in here, but again, it costs more money. The system doesn't allow for additional mics right now. We're working on getting that fixed to see if we can upgrade. I'm not a tech person in that sense. I don't know what chip has to go into the computer and what has to talk to the speakers to allow you to do that. It's the same way that if you were to plug your own personal laptop into here, you can do that. But if the sound then comes through the laptop, it bypasses this system. So there's a lot of tech pieces that just.
And this is the case in other rooms on campus. They're having issues also, not just us. And they have technical people that are trying to work it out. So there's a lot of this.
If the sound can come through the computer, you can regulate the sound through the computer and it would make it louder. Is that?
We've done it. We've tried it. But
everything in here has been toned so that it's at the max volume, like they can hear us at home on the max, we can hear them at home on the max. The closest thing you're gonna get is if I stand on top of the desk where Bunny is sitting and I shout into the microphone. That's the only way to physically get any louder. I don't recommend that, by the way.
Well, you can use a ladder, you say.
Right.
And that grad student again.
Barbara, that is officially volunteering to be the official camera.
Workshop leader on the
there's a
ladder.
question in the back.
Just a question regarding.
Louder.
Speak out.
He needs a mic.
Have you tried just a separate PA system, like a little tiny amplifier and a microphone?
Then people at home. The people at home hear it. I could give everybody a megaphone, and that's really the only, I know that sounds silly, the only real solution. If we were to get a microphone in here, I can get a microphone, but hooking it up to the computer, they won't hear you at home. So a megaphone or something like that, to project people's voices, maybe a possibility, but I don't know how that works to integrate it into the system.
We're not using the hybrid, we're in this room, we're not using Zoom or hybrid.
Yeah.
Can we have a microphone for our class?
We don't currently have a microphone.
We don't need, I'm just wondering.
In other buildings.
In other buildings that have different systems.
And they may not be hybrid buildings, rooms rather.
No, but I mean, if, I didn't even think of that because we were hybrid, but if you're just.
We're not hybrid, so we don't need anything.
No,
We're-
right, right.
The three of us are pretty loud, we're probably not gonna need a microphone, I was just
One
curious.
conversation at home because the people at home can't hear when the chatter, sorry.
No, but I think that if you're not using the hybrid system, like you said, I mean, my voice is small, very often. I kept walking around because they couldn't hear in the far end. Could we in this room?
We don't own them yet. I mean,
Right, that's the thing, we're trying to figure out how to get that, where if we had a standalone microphone that wasn't connected to the system, that just amplified
Right.
someone's voice, like what Mike is saying, we just don't have that yet, so we have to figure out, how does that work? We just order a karaoke microphone on Amazon, I don't know.
Amazon.
Trying to figure that all out, so we're working on it, I promise.
I just want to get a plug
If it's
in.
about microphones, no.
No. Member Relations Committee, we need volunteers on the first week of classes to sit at the tables out there. If you're willing to do it, please give me your email before you leave.
Okay.
Well, your name and I have your email.
Do you have a list already?
Okay. I just want to go over a couple more points from the handbook, but most of you know about this. I want to talk about the guest speakers.
Yeah, so guys, let's just gonna talk about a couple more important.
So for those of you that would like to have guest speakers in your workshops, whether it's on Zoom or in person, we encourage it. Absolutely. I just ask that this is in the handbook. We just ask that you fill out the guest speaker form. The blue is the form, so you just click on that. It's a quick question, who's coming, what date, that's basically it. And then we just get notification of the speakers that are going to be in your workshop. If they're in person, there's an in-person section because we want you to know that if they're coming in person, where they should park and they would get validated. So it's a very quick form. So if you have any guest speakers, that you're interested in having in your workshops, please go ahead and fill this out as soon as you know, and then we just get notification. Guest speakers are very different than a lecture series speaker. A lecture series speaker is for the entire membership. So if you want someone to speak on a topic that might be relative to your workshop or not, notify me or the curriculum committee, Jane and Karen. Let us know who you're thinking or who you want to suggest. And then I take it from there. I get the information from them. If you've already spoken to the person, if you know, the CEO of some company that you wanted to speak on a specific topic, let me know what that is. Just shoot me an email and I will take it from there as soon as I get the information from you in confirming dates and times and that kind of thing. So there's really no form you all have to fill out, but this explains the program. We do need advance notice so that we can get it on the calendar. The calendar is getting very, very busy. So the more advanced time I know, at least 4 weeks we need, because we want to notify the membership at least 2 weeks before the lecture. So if you have any suggestions on anyone that might be a good speaker, please let me know. And I'm more than happy to get Karen and Jane's approval from the curriculum committee, and then we go on to confirm dates and times, all of that. Any questions about that? Okay. Lecture series speakers are for the entire membership. The entire membership is invited, where guest speakers are just for your workshop. Lecture series speakers are entitled to receive an honorarium if they request it, but it's very minimal funds. And they're only entitled to receive their funds once in the time of their, once ever. It's in the range of $100 to $200 per occurrence, but they can only be paid once, and they have to be paid as an individual, not as a company. So if there's somebody that requests it, let us know. It gets approved through the process that we normally use, but it is available and it's limited funds. Any questions about that? No? Okay. One thing I want to go back to the rooms again. If anybody is in Wong, Sac, Union, or any of the other buildings outside of this building, as soon as you know that you're going to cancel your workshop, let us know so that we can get credit for the fee that we're charged for those rooms. We are being charged for it, so please let us know so that we can try to get a refund for it. And for the equipment too. So we are being charged for equipment. So if you don't need a slide advance, or if you don't need a laptop and it's in your room, don't just assume it comes with the room, we pay for it. So if you don't need what's in the room, let me know as soon as possible so that we aren't paying for something we're not using.
Last thing I just want to touch on, most of you have heard of this. If you've ever attended a new member orientation at any point in your OLLI careers, emergency procedures, you haven't, I strongly recommend coming to new member orientation next week, because the university police officers give a fabulous presentation. Active shooter drills, we've gone over that. You are on a college campus. Hope it never happens here, but it has happened in other universities, so we want to be prepared. But the biggest thing here is, if there is an emergency, what do? We've had several medical emergencies happen over the last couple of years. And folks, their first instinct is to dial 911. And what I will say is not to not do that, but that there's a better option to 911, which is dialing 631-632-3333. So if everybody can take out their cell phones, if you don't already have it, please program that number into your phone. It is 631-632-3333. Now that automatically goes to the university emergency system. They will send fire, police, EMT, whoever needs to be here directly, because the campus has their own infrastructure. If you call 911, 911 will take the call and then dispatch it to the police department here. So the direct line to them is 631-632-3333. I'll also give you my OLLI cell phone number. You can reach me at any time, 631-356-3912. Put it up on the screen for you guys at home. Also in the handbook, That's my cell phone. There's an emergency, stay calm, guys, but send somebody who's not involved in direct emergency right to the office. We'll come down here and help de-escalate the situation. Again, the most important thing is to get that number called and to get emergency services here as soon as possible.
Especially for the new workshop leaders that are here. I was at the last orientation, last semester, last year, and it was the presentation that was done by the safety people, et cetera, on campus was phenomenal, something I think we never had before.
Yeah.
And if you just come and listen to that, it's really very, very important. So if you're a new workshop leader, I strongly urge that you go to this.
Yeah. So it's on August 31st at 10 o'clock, and it's going to be held at
SAC Ballroom B.
So fire exits, also be mindful, whatever building you're in, my recommendation is to come in on a day when you don't have a workshop, walk around, get to know the building you're in, know where the exits are, know where the stairs are, know where the elevator is. You know, it's just really important to be aware of your surroundings here, especially if there is a need. In regards to, there's a couple of different things, Stony Brook Guardian, you know, some safety tips in here, fire safety, all that fun stuff. You can read it in your own time. It's in the guide. The guide is available. I just really want to show you guys really quick on our website. The best place that you can go ahead and get all of this information is stonybrook.edu/OLLI. This is our homepage. You'll find amazing information here. Take a few minutes when you have some time to look it over. We have our about section, our membership, programs, get involved. And most importantly, what you guys are going to want to learn about is the resources. So this resources tab is super important for our workshop leaders. You'll see you have all the parking information, but you have the handbooks here. So you have the member handbook and you have the workshop leader handbook. You click on the workshop leader handbook, it will bring you directly to it, and anything that's blue in the guide, you can click on. It opens additional documents, it opens how-to information, it opens contact information, so anything you need is available on there. In addition to that, we have the form. So you heard Liz talk about the guest speaker form, it's right here for you. We have the lecture series speaker form, the request for honorariums. So these are all here on the site. You can always look at our magazine, our newsletter, bylaws, any of the stuff you need, getting involved. If you're involved with the committee, volunteer opportunities, workshop leaders, right here. We have a page dedicated to you guys, it's our workshop leader page.
Show them their pictures.
So we have current workshop leaders and become a workshop leader. If you want to learn more about becoming a workshop leader, which most of you are, we have all of the benefits, who to contact, a lovely video from Karen. Current workshop leaders, right? Meet your current workshop leaders. So we direct all of the members to this page. We have all of the leaders broken down by semester. The fall one should be up in the next week or so. We have the principles of adult learning, some of those things that Karen was sharing, again, the forms, the handbooks. But if you click on the semesters, we have pictures, David is here. We have, you know, what you need, a little bit of bio and your email. A photo so folks can get to know you and contact you in the event that they need to reach out. So all of this information is here, you provide it in the application and we house it. And it's really cool for us to be able to look back to the last couple of years and see who led what, you know, dating back to the spring of 2020. So I started here in 2019 and we're hoping that this moving forward lives on forever. So definitely take a look at the website. One last thing that we'll show you guys just as an FYI. So here on the homepage, we have some of our major stories. You'll see this is where the cancellation document is listed. So folks are directed to go here. This is our calendar. So when you view all of the events, you can see what's going on by month. So anytime there's anything happening, you'll see we have lecture series listed, registration. Make sure you're keeping an eye on this calendar because we post all the great things that are happening here at OLLI. So definitely another resource that I want to make everybody aware of, but especially while you're here, take the opportunity to share. Mike.
Is there a page on here where we update our schedule if we know we're gonna be out, like one or two of the days that we know we're gonna be away now and we're gonna cancel
So
class?
when it's something like if you're as a workshop leader that won't be attending or won't be able to lead your workshop, you let me know.
Okay,
And then we post it here on the cancellation document.
so if we know our schedule is not gonna be as it was posted in the roster, just let you know.
Let me
those
know,
days.
it'll be in the updated schedule, it'll also go on the cancellation document. All right, anybody else? And, I'm sorry.
I just need a little bit of a direction on this, maybe some suggestions. We have over 40 people on our wait list.
Yeah.
And we want to start exactly on time because we're running to move everything else. I'm anticipating that a lot of the people that are on the wait list will appear.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a policeman that day, people that are sitting that may be not registered. How do you suggest we handle that?
So we instruct all of our members to only attend if they are registered. Now, I don't expect someone with a magnitude, with a workshop of 100+ people to be sitting there checking off the attendance list one by one. It's unpractical. So if you could make the announcement via an email to your entire roster, including the folks on the wait list.
We already did that.
Just letting everybody know to only attend if you are registered. Now, if you, as I said earlier, want to extend the courtesy of saying, we have X number of seats open this week, does anybody from the wait list want to attend? And then you would then be responsible for saying, maybe on a first come, first served basis, I got an email from these 3 people letting them know that they can come, that there is a seat. It's a lot of work. It's why we leave it up to the discretion of the workshop leader. I have seen a lot of improvement in this process. I have had people who say that they don't want to do a wait list at all. It's the 100 people that are registered, they come and that's it. There's really no best practice here other than whatever makes you feel most comfortable. There has been a new addition to the handbook as per one of our members. It was brought up at the OEC meeting, which is if a workshop participant does not notify you that they cannot come to 2 consecutive workshops, you reserve the right as the workshop leader to remove them or ask the office to remove them from the roster and extend a seat to your wait list. So all of this gets fishy. It's not a problem if somebody misses 2 workshops, but if they don't notify you and that seat remains empty for the remainder of the semester, it gets a little tricky. So my recommendation would be talk to Karen and James, see if you guys can come up with a process that works best for you. We're happy to help facilitate the technology piece of it, but the more communication you can make, the better.
Yeah, well, your problem is really unique in that you have such a large wait list.
Still a problem to have, yeah.
It's a very good problem to have, and I remember back 6 years, I remember waiting because if it's at your discretion to ask the members to send it. I've got a list I'm gonna share with my colleagues, actually, we will see the dates that people say they're not coming. But what a project that is for you when there's so many. I used to wait in the lobby for Bob's rock and roll. Bob Hayes' class, and if people didn't show up and there were empty seats, a few of us would go in, and otherwise I just hung out. You hope that people will be honest and polite. And I mean, that's why it's so important that we get a room for you.
And I'm hoping with the
near future.
I'm hoping with the Bauman Center that we're able to put you in the Bauman Center next semester.
But maybe a volunteer would be willing to do that.
That's what Bruce Sage used to do.
You don't want a policeman, though, yeah.
No. Yeah, Michael Monaco used to make an announcement, if you're not registered for my class, and you came in thinking there were empty seats and there are not, please leave. And people did that, it was, because he always had a line outside of his door for Shakespeare, and people would come in thinking that there would be empty seats, but there was never an empty seat. So he would make that announcement and people did get up and leave.
And one thing too, just make sure when you guys are admitting folks who are not registered, so we have to, the campus has, if you've been to orientation, you've seen the system, they know where everybody is at any given moment. We have to submit schedules to everybody in the event that there's an emergency. Everybody has to be accounted for. Just make sure if they're coming and they're not registered, they're signing into the attendance sheet, that they're, ticking it in at the bottom, just to try and help us any way we can if there is some type of emergency, active shooters, anything like that.
on top of.
Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest to navigate. The best solution is gonna be that we're gonna get you in the Bowman Center and hopefully you'll be able to, I mean, if you could have a 500-person workshop, more power to you, because that would be great.
Are you thinking of it for this semester?
It just became available and I don't know that we have the 11 consecutive weeks. It's likely not gonna be a change till the spring. So we'll hope to navigate it the best we can this semester and then moving forward. Anybody else?
And one-on-ones.
Yeah, one-on-ones, if you guys need tech support, tech help, rosters, any questions that you were too embarrassed to ask here today and you only wanna ask me, by all means, shoot me an email and we'll get you set up. Thank you guys so much for joining
Does
us.
anybody need parking validation?
Thank you at home. Have a good day.